new appointments to the Youth Advisory Panel. Maybe I can short-circuit this by simply saying 3 members of the Youth Advisory Panel have been so unwise as to accept study opportunities outside of Auckland and have had to resign. So we are wanting to fill those positions, and they will be filled in the confidential item on our agenda. But
happy to move, Mr Mayor.
Yeah, moved by Councillor Collins, seconded by Councillor Casey. If there's no questions, we'll put that resolution. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
To the contrary, no. Carried. Item number 18, summary of governing body information, memos and briefings. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, sorry, I'll move it first. Have we got a seconder?
I'll second.
Seconded. Councillor Cooper. All those in favour, please say aye. To the contrary, no. Carried. We now come to consideration of extraordinary items. And pursuant to Standing Order 2.4.6, the governing body resolved to receive a verbal update from the Chief Executive regarding the process, I want to stress that word, process, of the rating sale of Penny Bright's property. And I think,
Matthew, Jazz,
if I can invite Matthew, James and Jazz to the table, being the appropriate officers. James, are you leading this as our legal advisor? I'll invite you to speak. We're not entering into the substance of it. I just want to know about process, and I think Councillor Casey wants to know that proper process has been followed.
So in terms of process, if we could start at where we are at the moment, we've come to the end last month or the month before of a 6-month stand-down period, which is required under the statute before a rating sale proceeds. Prior to that, the Registrar of the High Court notified Ms Bright that it was going to happen, but giving her that 6-month grace period. Since then, we've been talking to the Registrar about some of the details as to how the sale, in a practical sense, proceeds. The Registrar's looked at those details. He's given Ms Bright another week, saying we're going to advertise on the 24th of March. So as of this moment, the Registrar is continuing with his intention to advertise the sale of Ms Bright's house, commencing on the 24th of March, and that will be by a tender process. The advertising and the tender process ends on the 24th of April.
Right. Is there any other comment from our officers? We'll just take questions then. I think maybe I'll start with you, Councillor Casey, if you have one.
Yeah, what part do elected members play in the process, the rating sale process?
So on the 7th of March 2013, the Strategy and Finance Committee approved a rating sale policy, and it's under that policy that we're operating. Prior to that policy being approved by the Strategy and Finance Committee, no rating sales had taken place.
And how many have taken place since the 7th of March 2013?
There's been one rating sale.
Okay, can I just clarify, as a supplementary to Councillor Casey's question, of course the Council approved this policy some 5 years ago, but do they have any, do elected representatives have any role to play thereafter in the operational side of any sale? I'm not specifying it in regard to a particular case.
The policy is very clear that the elected members have delegated to the staff through the Chief Executive to undertake the rating sales in accordance with the guidelines set out in that policy. As with any delegation, of course, the body making the delegation can ask that the power to make the decision be taken by the body giving the delegation.
Thank you. Councillor Walker, I think you had a query.
A quick question, and it just goes to the timelines. So I just want to get very clear on how much time Penny Bright has got to cause things to be withdrawn. So you mentioned the 24th, which is well, today's the 22nd, so So the 24th is a Saturday. So does that mean that it's possible for Penny Bright to have things withdrawn if she fronts up with something on the Saturday, or does it have to be the Friday? I'd just like a bit of exactitude, because days and hours right now are fairly important.
To be clear, it's the commencement of advertising which starts this Saturday. The sale will go through, if there's an interested buyer, on the 24th of April. Up until that point, we can, Ms Bright can enter into any arrangement, including paying or a postponement arrangement.
So just to be very clear, so that takes us through to when? Did you say the 24th of April?
April, yes.
So if Penny Bright comes to an arrangement between now and the 24th of April, the sale is effectively withdrawn.
We will direct the High Court to stop the sale, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Collins. Sorry? No, you're on my list wrongly. Okay, thank you very much to the team.
Sorry, one question.
Councillor Watson.
And just in terms of that process, you mentioned payment or postponement. Am I correct in assuming that payment can take the form of an offer to start some schedule? It's not payment in full. Can it encapsulate both an offer to start paying as opposed to paying off in full?
So, through the chair, I mean, what would be good is to get together and have that conversation. So, we will always stand ready to exercise some discretion, and we would do that in the appropriate way. I think the main element of discretion that should be discussed is around timing.
So, just to follow up, so time, and again it goes to my earlier question, timing as to full payment as opposed to timing when to start payment. Are we dealing with a full sum, or dealing with someone showing perhaps what's often seen in the court system as showing good faith to set up some process by which they meet payment eventually?
So that would normally arise within any situation, and we will, if we can see good faith, then we will want to reciprocate. But we've got to think about both the totality of what's outstanding and what's a reasonable period of time. I would say that given a rates postponement as one of the potential tools to use in that arrangement, that is an instrument which allows for a fair amount of time.
Thank you. Right, thank you very much for that, and to the officers. I want now to move the...
You're talking about me. Can I not?
Sorry.
Can I not just say, where's the good faith?
I'm sorry,
from Stephen Town.
Penny, you don't have speaking rights at this section of the meeting.
It's not fair. You're talking about me, and due process is not happening.
We're talking about process. We're not talking about substance.
Who said Ms Bright has made wild and inaccurate accusations about the council and its probity?
Penny, I am asking you...
He's the same person who's got the authority to sell my house. How does that fit any basic concept of natural justice and fair play?
You do not have speaking rights. You are disturbing the meeting.
Listen,
please be seated.
You want to sell my house. Do you know how stressful that is there?
Procedures
I've done the heavy lifting on transparency and getting the books open way more than you or anybody else.
I'll ask you again. Please, you are disturbing our meeting. Please be seated.
You're talking about me. Why don't I have a chance to have a say?
Procedures and standing orders.
And you declined me speaking rights this morning because I've attended 5 meetings raising about opening the books.
And gentlemen,
I do work and I don't get paid for it.
Okay, I think the matter has been dealt with. I would like now to move the motion so that we can deal with the item on the agenda that needs to be dealt with in confidence, namely the appointment of 3 people to the Youth Advisory Panel. Can I have a motion for that? Moved by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Collins. All those in favour, please say aye. To the contrary, no. Carried. If I can ask those not here in official capacity, please to leave the room so we can complete our agenda.